I think we're going to move on, though, now to the Los Angeles Chargers and their 7-round mock draft. But before we get into that, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to get notified when Ryan and I create new content. We have a goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers by the NFL draft, which is just about a month and a half away. And we are sitting at 617 last we checked. We've already gained 300 so far this year. And so we're growing our community. We love all the support, getting a lot of interaction with our new subscribers, which we love. So join the community, hit that subscribe button, and Ryan, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Los Angeles Chargers, I think, are in a good position. They did improve. They went farther this year than what we have seen them do in the past, which is good. We won't talk about what happened in the playoffs, but they still made the playoffs. They're showing gradual improvement. Justin Herbert is the real deal. He's their franchise quarterback, and we have them picking at pick 22. Keynote, just especially for Chargers fans, the software that we use to do our 7-round mock draft, they counted the Miami Dolphins forfeited pick, so they had them at 21, Chargers at 22. So if the numbers are off a little bit, that's why. But Ryan, what did the Chargers do in our mock draft?
So in our mock draft, we had the Chargers trade down from 22 to 29 with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals gave them pick 29 and pick 93. So at pick 29, we had the I keep want to say San Diego. We had the Los Angeles Chargers select Josh Downs, the wide receiver from North Carolina. And to me, he adds an element that I don't know if they truly have on this offense right now. And that is he is an elite separator and he has elite track speed. So he only ran like a 4.40 at the combine. I say only. And I think when you watch him on tape, he moves much faster than a 4.40. I think he moves much like a 4.30, and it's kind of crazy because he almost looks like he's gliding across the turf when he runs. He's very good at finding open space, and I really like this pick, especially if the Chargers part ways with Keenan Allen this offseason, which there's a lot of rumors that they are. And I really like this pick. I think he's a day one starter in that system. And yeah, I like it.
Well, and that's the one. They have DeAndre Carter that's a free agent, and I think he can come in. He's kind of that guy now already, and I think that he can come in and replace him. And as what you talked about, I think he can probably provide more value with some more speed, that shiftiness that he has, and the ability to get open. We saw that a lot with him and Drake May at North Carolina, and also Sam Howell last year as well. So I like the pick. I would be curious, though, if they would maybe go defensive side, maybe go cornerback if like Deonte Banks is still there, it was who it was because that's who Cincinnati Bengals traded up for. If they want to go him or trade back, get a couple more picks, because I do like the cornerback that we have taken for them. Not in the next pick, but in the following pick after that, I think that's also a good value. But Josh Downs, I do like that pick. Maybe it's a little bit rich, but he's definitely at the top of that second tier receivers, or at the bottom of the first tier. Like he's in that.
I would say at the bottom of the first tier.
Yeah, he's in that little gray area as well.
Yeah, I also don't think there's like a true top tier wide receiver group in this class because they all have a lot of questions about them. So
honestly, you almost say the tight ends are the top tier receivers, but that's a totally different conversation though. But moving on though now to their next pick, and I like this pick also. I think it addresses a need, and I think it's a guy that can help contribute. Put him alongside Khalil Mack, but Trenton Simpson, linebacker from Clemson. I like this pick a lot. There's a lot of good second-round linebackers here. And I think Jack Campbell, if he falls, would also be really good here. Drew Sanders, I think, would do well here. And then who's the guy from Washington State? Damian Henley.
Damian Henley.
Yeah. So in our mock draft, there was a run on those guys, and the Chargers got Trenton Simpson, who was the last guy. And so I think that this would be a good pick. I think he provides he just seems like a good overall linebacker that can fit well into the system.
No, yeah, I agree. He did a lot of things well at Clemson. He's very athletic, and I think he definitely needs to be coached up. He does he sometimes gets lost in on running plays, just kind of gets lost in the linemen and the muck that is created. And I think he just needs help kind of figuring out where to go and where to be. But with solid coaching, I really like his upside. there's like 4 linebackers in this class that I think are going to go on day 1 and 2, and he's one of those guys. I just think it's whichever one is really your type of linebacker that you want on your team, I think is what you go with. I like Trenton Simpson in this system because he can do a lot of things. He's good against the run. He's good in coverage. And yeah, so next up is a guy that I really liked. He had some really great tape at Kansas State, especially when he went up against Quentin Johnson, and that is cornerback Julius Brents from Kansas State. 6'3", like 205, super long arms, just a solid cornerback. He doesn't have elite top end speed, but he has enough.
Well, and it's one of the things too. He's big. Like he's definitely a little bit bigger and taller and lankier on the cornerback side, which I think kind of allows him to make up for a little bit of that. Yeah. I think putting him across from like Asante Samuel Jr., I think would be great for some matchups. But also, I just think he's just going to be tough to go up against, just because of his size. And as you said, there's good film on this guy. He's gone up against the top receiver in this draft class, and it's done decently well against him. Yeah,
and I'm already gonna try to answer this question before people ask it in the comments, but Asante Samuel Jr. and then J.C. Jackson were the 2 outside corners last year. Well, they both didn't finish the season due to injury, if I remember right. And J.C. Jackson's injury was a torn patella tendon, or he tore his quadriceps tendon. Either way, that is a very severe injury, and he could never really be the same. And so I think investing a 3rd-round pick into a cornerback that could come in and potentially be a replacement, it would be a good idea here in the 3rd round. So,
yeah. And then, and that's what I think that's the position also that I could see the Chargers taking in the 1st round as well. If they don't go receiver, and then kind of flipping these 2 spots here to go cornerback at 22 and then receiver at 88. Because I think there's good defensive value at that 50 at their 2nd round pick. But the 3rd round, I could see it switching here.
Yeah. And then let's move on now to the 4th round. This is, or not the 4th round, later on in the 3rd round, pick 93. This is the pick that they got for trading back with Cincinnati. And that is, they're going to take defensive lineman Jacqueline Roy from LSU, or Jake Quellen for you Key and Peele fans. That, to me, I just like this pick. He's a solid run stuffer. This team has had a lot of issues with run defense lately. I think you put him in between Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, and I think that is the beginning of the end of running issues for this Chargers defense.
Yeah, well, and that seems to be their bugaboo these past couple of years. It's just been teams that have just been able to run against them constantly. If you pair him up with Trenton Simpson in this draft class, guys that can stuff the middle and stop the run, that's going to help this team out tremendously because they have good corners. They have a good pass defense and they can get after the quarterback with the Bosa brother. So I think that's good value at this position here, and to get that after and you weren't able to address the defensive line, and I don't believe they have up to this point in free agency. Let me double check. They re-signed Morgan Fox, but other than that, though, you could pair him up with Morgan Fox as well, or at least have it be in a developmental role up to this point. So let's move on, though, now to their 5th pick 126. A lot of rumors going on around with Austin Eckler. They're allowing him to look for a trade. And we had this pick, obviously, before those trades happened. Now I like this pick even more. But Zach Evans, running back out of Ole Miss, I like this anyways, just in general. But now I like this pick even more. Maybe I also think that maybe they can take him sooner, or maybe one of the other running backs sooner, depending on what happens with Austin Eckler.
No, yeah, I like this pick. He's a really well-rounded back, and to get a guy like this in the 4th round, I think is just, it's good value, smart business to consistently invest in that running back position, and yeah, again, like I said, good pick. So next up, pick 158, middle of the 5th round, McClendon Curtis, the guard from Chattanooga, taking Chattanooga guards on day 3 where they belong. I think that's a good pick.
I was going to make that joke. I was going to say something about it. Gosh.
Sorry, I beat you to it.
I know.
But for those who don't know, I'm a Patriots fan. Cole Strange. Yeah, you get it. Okay. So McClendon Curtis is not the prospect that Cole Strange was. Cole Strange was actually really projected to go in the late second, early 3rd round. McClendon Curtis does a lot of the things that Cole Strange does well. He's just not quite as refined. He's not quite as physical or as athletic. So I think he's a solid interior offensive lineman prospect that you're going to get on middle day 3. And I think he's a solid backup in year 1, and maybe he can develop into a consistent starter later on.
Yeah, and that's we've seen improvement from this Chargers offensive line. We didn't see it as much this past season just because of the injuries, like Rashawn Slater, for example, was out for a majority of the year. And I think getting good developmental interior line pieces is only going to keep improving this offensive line, because Rashawn Slater is here for the future. I mean, he's going to have a very long tenured career with the Chargers as long as he can stay healthy. But I think getting Curtis McClendon here, because you know how good those Chattanooga offensive linemen are. So,
hey, he's a top 10 guard according to PFF. So
that's true. Let's go. Moving on, though, now to pick 202 and then also 241. We'll kind of do a little rapid fire here. But they go with tight end Brenton Strange out of Penn State at 202. Gerald Everett is getting old. I don't know if Darnell Parham is the guy here. And so I think providing some depth, they can maybe go tight end a little bit sooner, get an immediate game changer. Maybe they take Dalton Kincaid with the first overall pick if they trade down, or if they don't trade down. But in this mock draft, they did not. And I think addressing tight end, I think you're getting good value here from a guy that potentially could develop into something. So then lastly at 241, they go with offensive tackle, addressing the offensive line. Again, John Ojakwu from Boise State. I think I did pretty good on that one. I think I did decently good on that one. If you are new to the channel, you will get used to me not being able to pronounce names. So don't take it personally. But anyways, once again, same thing with Curtis McClendon as well. Just adding depth to the offensive line. We saw what happened when Rashawn Slater went down and other members of this offense went down, and this offense became anemic at times because they couldn't protect Justin Herbert or create running lanes for Austin Eckler. So adding depth, trying to find those diamond in the roughs at this point in the draft is crucial.
Yeah. And I think he has the length to play on the outside, and he's a decent athlete. And so I like that pick there at 241. I think it's good value. Worst comes to worst, you throw him on your kicking team or your field goal unit, and there you go. So all in all, I think this is a really good draft for the Los Angeles Chargers. They have an uphill battle with that division. I think they're probably hovering between 2 and 3 right now, with Denver reloading. I know that completely depends on if Russell Wilson can be half of what he was in Seattle, or if he's.
I would still put them above Denver because I know what we're gonna get with the Chargers.
Yeah. So you're gonna get 4th and 5 conversion attempts and it's on field goals. So
they started to play really well towards the second half of last year. If like a couple decisions earlier in the season,
point collapses. Sorry.
Yeah. That one's tough.
That was pretty tough. Sorry.
That one's tough to overcome. So, but I think that might be a coaching thing. So I'm very curious to kind of see how that happens. So, but in general, though, I agree. I would say of the drafts that we did and ones that I'm remembering that we've done, because this is our 4th division that we're doing in our series where we're going through all this. I would say the above average so far. And they might fall a little bit once we get through more of the AFC teams and what some of their drafts look like. But as of right now, I would say in the above average.
No, I agree. I like that draft a lot. I think they address a lot of needs with the best player available, right? So I think I like Josh Downs at 29, might be at the higher end of what he can go for. But I actually think late first round, early second is his zone. And then Trenton Simpson at 55?
Yeah.
I also think good value. You're getting a solid, versatile linebacker. And then the rest of the guys I all think can be contributors. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap up the Los Angeles Chargers there.